Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So if you don't know me, I am Saviki and I'm going to be talking today about James May's car collection. James May is known worldwide for being one of the 3 hosts on Top Gear, and some of you might recognise him from Grand Tour, which was on Amazon Prime. With his extensive car knowledge and quirky sense of humour, James May quickly became one of the world's most recognised car enthusiasts. And I think it goes without saying, anyone who watched Top Gear or Grand Tour really fell in love with his character and with just how down to earth he really was. So when I think of James May, I think of a down to earth guy, relatable. He's not one of the people who I would imagine like to spend a lot of money on really expensive things. It just doesn't give me that vibe. So it does make for an interesting bit of research into his car collection. And like I said, I don't really feel like he is someone who would splash the cash on finer things in life, although his car collection does tell me a completely different story. If you have watched Top Gear or Grand Tour, you will know that he was nicknamed Captain Slow by his fellow presenters.
Then I tried to get a point by overtaking Captain Slow.
But when we take a deeper look into his car collection and some of his past cars, we're going to realise that that was not the case for Mr. Captain Slow. From motorbikes to luxury cars, James May has had it all. And it is a collection that any car enthusiast could only ever dream of owning. He has had a really extensive collection of cars. Some he still owns, some he does. So we're going to have a look at some of the stuff he's owned in the past and some of the stuff he still owns today. So I thought we would start by one of the most unusual cars that he does own right now. His Volkswagen beach buggy. You might have seen this on the programme. This car did make an appearance in some of the recordings that they did for the programme. This little Volkswagen beach buggy made its way from a Volkswagen Beetle and was transformed into a buggy. This little Beetle was completely transformed by Kingfisher Customs here in the UK. James wasn't too fussed on how beach buggies were, and he wanted to just try something a little bit different and a little bit more out there. And he went ahead and done it with the little Beetle, and it has been used a few times in the show, so you probably will have seen it before. He still owns it to this day, and it has to be one of the most unique cars he has in his collection. Number 2, his 2015 Ferrari 458. This is a big jump up from the little Volkswagen beach buggy, and this car is probably one of the most expensive cars that James May actually owns. This car features a 4.5 litre V8 engine and is running about 597 brake horsepower. Something I'll never have a chance to be in or own. Number 3. Moving away from the cars, it is a motorbike. James owns a number of motorbikes. This is one of his bikes that he's owned the longest. A Moto Guzzling V11 Sport. It might not be the flashiest motorbike on the road, but it is so nice. It has curves in all the right places, and it has just the right amount of chrome in below. Number 4. James's Datsun 120Y. So as we know, James loves his older vintage cars, and this is no exception. This car is also known as the Datsun Sunny, and this car was produced in the 1970s. And it's easy to see why James still thinks this car is worth being part of the collection. It has such character, such history, and it is just a lovely all-round car. With its simple design, practical function and basic interior, this car was an affordable car back in the day. Although this one does add to his nickname of Captain Slow, as it does sport a 1.2 litre engine. And it really does show that James May is just an ordinary guy, and he does just like what he likes. Number 5. James's Ferrari F430. This car is at the complete opposite scale of the Datsun. This car is a 4.3 litre V8 engine producing 490 brake horsepower, showing Richard Hammond and Jeremy Clarkson that he doesn't always have to live up to his name of Captain Slow. And James actually wrote a long article about this car he owns in his column on the Telegraph, which I will link down below. Number 6. His BMW i3. I wasn't too sure about any of the Top Gear guys owning electric cars, but it does seem that it is going that way. And in one of the series, James actually did a comparison against the BMW i3 and the GTI Golf. And as we all know from watching the series, James May talks a lot about owning cars that are practical and are more for everyday driving. And this car is no exception. I personally feel like this is probably why he has bought this car, for something practical, something cheap to run, something just modern and easy to get into, easy to get out to, just nice daily driving. And I would say this is why he's bought this BMW i3. Even though it's a cute little electric car, it does have 170 brake horsepower behind it. Number 7. James's 1984 Porsche 911. The Porsche 911 is an iconic piece of history when it comes to car culture. It's still a legendary car to this day. Loads of car collectors will pay over the odds to have one of these cars in their collection, and I feel like most car guys who have a car collection will have owned a 911 at some point in their time, if they could afford it. Although it was rumoured that James actually put this car up for auction in 2015. Number 8 is James's 1985 Porsche Carrera. I couldn't find out very much online about his actual specific Carrera he had. It does show that he just has that love for vintage cars. Number 9, now moving away from all that old school goodness, James's Tesla Model S. James actually done a review video of this car, a reveal video even, shall we say, when he just got the car, and the way he introduced this video was a little bit unique, to say the least.
Yo brothers, yo sisters, this is my new wheels, this is my new whip, I'm going to unveil it, this is going to be awesome, this is going to be solid, this is, what's another word? Sick, this is going to be sick.
And when I watched on with the video, I didn't think he was too impressed actually with the car, and I feel like he only bought this car for being practical really. It just didn't seem to me in the video that he really was interested in this car the way he had been about other cars he had showed us in the past, and I feel like he just bought it for the practical side of this car. Number 10, we're moving on to the fancy stuff now. The Rolls-Royce Corniche. This beauty has a 6.75 litre V8 engine, delivering in around 220 brake horsepower, doing 0 to 60 in 9 seconds. It's timeless, it's elegant, it has a vintage design that modern cars just can't replicate. And apparently it was reported that James May had to sell this car because he had some kind of weird allergy to the leather seats in this car. I don't know how true that is or not, but that's a weird fact. Number 11, the Rolls-Royce Phantom. This car shows just how Rolls-Royce pulled off the sleek, luxurious and impressive design that they all had. They are the top manufacturers when it comes to making sophisticated cars. And this car is powered with a 6.75 litre V12 engine. From the hand-carved wood inside the interior to the hand-stitching in the materials, this really does show that James May can go for the finer things in life. And it does show us that different side to him, but I suppose he's got the money, he may as well, and it just shows us that he does like the nicer, luxurious cars as well as the little cheap cars. And did you know that James May's first car was a Vauxhall Cavalier Mark I? And he still talks about how much he loved that car. It might have only had a 1.3 litre engine at 57 brake horsepower. He still loved that car. We all know what it's like. You have your first car and it's your own car, it doesn't matter. But that is where the love of cars started for James, and it's just grew. And honestly, he has had so many cars, I couldn't cover all of them. He's had so many different cars that these were just some of my favourite that I thought we could talk about today. But it's obvious that he has a love for cars in all ranges. It's not that he is doing it for status, it's not that he's doing it to try and show off to anyone. It's not that for James, he is buying cars that he actually enjoys. He owns simple cars, to exotic cars, to luxury cars, to motorbikes, even to electric cars. But I'm sure if we had a look around his actual garage, we would all find something that we would fall in love with. But I think that's why everyone seems to like James May. He is just so relatable, and for him it is just a passion. He just loves the cars. It's not about showing off for him, it's about showing everyone his car collection. Alright guys, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up, it really does help me out on the channel. And if you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing, it really does help me out massively. So many people watch the videos but don't subscribe, so I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.